Hello from Farland. I've been working on the Big Curve project, and here's where I am right now with it. For those of you who have not seen any of this before, my layout looks like this right now. Shell Hill Station is here. This is an incline, decline that comes around. It goes underneath. There's a bridge here, and the track goes around through Farland Howe Station and then out and around under the mountain and back around over through Lowen Yards and so on. What I want to change is I want to change these two tight curves right here. Also, there's a big chunk of the table that's missing right here that I didn't put in originally because there was something in the way and I couldn't. However, that is not in the way anymore, so I can now. So another thing I intend to do is put the corner of the board back in. So that'll expand the layout considerably and it'll allow me to come out straight here. So this is the way it used to be. Let me adjust the camera and change the drawing and we'll look at where we're going with this thing. This drawing represents the Big Curve project, and since I displayed it last, I've actually cleaned up these curves and they're a little bit smoother now. What I want to do is I want to move this over against the edge of the board, which will allow me to put a larger radius curve in there. That'll be a Hornby 4th radius and a Hornby 3rd radius. And then a nice big sweeping curve around here and out to the prairie section. And I hope to put a modest station in right about here because the track will be pretty high. It will be elevated there. I'm going to decline a little bit here, then level out through the points, and then it'll be level all the way around over to here somewhere, and then it'll start to decline back down here, and when it gets down here, it'll level out for the points, and then it'll be at the right elevation. So with that in mind, let me say this. That looks great, but how do you translate that into your layout itself? And that's what I've been spending my time thinking about since we last talked. Let me explain the challenges. If you're going to build supporting structure to support all this track, you kind of have to know where the track is because you can't really put in the supporting or the track and then build the supports under it, because with the angles and things, the track's not going to land exactly where it appears it's going to land when you elevate it. So what I'd like to do is build the structure at the proper elevations, then assemble the track, and then trim the structure so that it fits the actual track. At least I think that's the best way to go. So what I've come up with is a grid system. Now this is all black and white print, and I've colored in the tracks a little bit with a felt tip pen just so you can see them easier. But each one of those grid lines represents 2 inches, and they're all numbered from 2 through 100 and, I don't know, 60 something. And they're numbered from 2 down to 74 over here, so that I can find myself on these grid lines. And it'll be pretty easy to rough cut a support plank or board or plywood sheet that's about the right size to support the tracks. And then I can put the supports under it. I'll screw it all together at first. And then once I get the track on it, I'll mark it and I'll take it out to the shop, put it through the bandsaw, and finally tune the actual shape and size of the supports. Now, I said I wanted a platform here and here, I think, the last time, but really I think it would be appropriate to have a platform here, and I don't know if I really need one here and here, but we'll see when I get that far, I guess. So this is an update to the big curve project. This is where I am right now. And there's a couple other things I want to show you on the layout that I've been doing, and then that's about all I got for you right now. Since it looks like this outside today, I might as well work on my layout. What else is there to do? So I weathered my press flow wagons. I've added some hay bales over here. Hay bales being very near and dear to my heart. Once upon a time, I spent several weeks in the summertime stacking those darn things. Very hard work. But I was young and strong in those days. So there's that. And also down here, I'll bring it down here and show it to you. Down here I have a new greenhouse. Much happier with this one than I was with the other one. Although there's always room for improvement. There's one other thing I've added. I've added an office for the shunter. Figured if he was going to sit out here waiting all the time for something to shunt, he might want to talk on the phone back to somebody to find out when he was going to have to go to work and what was coming and what to do. So I added a pole. Yeah, you can't see him there. I'll have to move the camera. So you can see the wire there. Goes across the road. There's another pole there. Another pole there, and then it goes over and attaches to the station back there. I thought he'd like to have a telephone. Maybe I need to run a power wire too, so you have lights in there. As long as a shunter was gonna be sitting in his office over here, figure he might as well have a phone. Maybe I'll run some power wires over here so he can have lights too. I'm not sure I want to light that little building. It's all wood. It might go up in flames. Take my whole house with it. I'm collecting all the materials for the big curve project, and since that's going to take a while, I've got to find other things to amuse myself with, like this little shunter's hut. Buy from Farland.